Today is dressing up our camper for winter day.
I'm going to take you through our steps for winterizing on our Northern Lite 811. A couple things we do to prep for the winter, because we live in this thing year round. In Saskatchewan, we deal with some winters that go down to -40 at times. And here's how we do that. Right, winterization process. We always keep a jug of RV antifreeze in hand, just in case. So an example of what happened to us last year, we were traveling up north and we were far away from any source of parts, and we actually had the furnace fail on us. So in that situation, you cool down real quick, and especially underneath, you can put a heater on inside and it's going to keep the camper warm, but it won't keep the valves warm. So what we did is we just ran antifreeze through the system real quick. It doesn't take very long, just run antifreeze through and winterize the water system. And then you've got time to figure out what you need to do, get the furnace fixed, diagnosis, stuff like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up the outdoor shower. We're not going to use this now for the winter, so the first thing is to get this completely removed. We've already got this insulated from last year and we just never took it off, but just to help protect the valve bay and the valves a little bit more, we're actually going to use some 1-inch polystyrene and layer that on the inside as well for some extra protection. So we use our foil for the insulation. There's many different brands that you can get. They're all about the same. Some are a little more expensive, some less. This stuff works really good, this material. And then we use tuck tape to attach it down. This stuff is the best in our opinion, and we've always used it. It lasts in the winter time. You can apply it in the cold and the warm, and it works fantastic. Now, the one thing to watch out for on this, because most campers are white, this will leave a red residue behind. So you really want to be careful what surfaces you apply this to. If you don't care about the outside appearance of your camper, no worries, let her fly. But we kind of like to keep it look half neat, so this stuff will leave residue behind on the outside of it. So when we're applying it to the door, we just go to the very edge of it. We don't go to the outside so that you can't see it. So you can get clear tuck tape as well, which it'll still leave a residue, but it won't be red. This is the battery bin, and so we just got it with the one 12-volt battery when we got the unit. It's a flooded lead acid deep cycle battery. It's a good battery, but there's only just the one. You can get some different options. They do make lithiums that you can put in here. It's a little out of our price range right now, but we're planning to upgrade to 2 6-volt batteries in series. And then we'll be able to stack the 2 batteries in like this and have a little bit more power. The 600 watts of solar on the roof helps a lot for off-grid, but once the sun goes down, this battery just doesn't keep up. So we got to upgrade to a little bit more battery power. So protection of the fridge is really important on these RVs, and here's why. So number one, this is what we do. We put the R foil on the inside and then the 2-inch polystyrene with a hole for some ventilation. Now, here's the reason why the maintenance of these things is very important. So the RV fridges, it's called a gas absorption fridge. And the way this works is you've got a heater in here that's either runs off 12 volt, sometimes 120 volt, depending on your fridge, or runs off propane. But either way, there's a unit in here that heats an ammonia solution. Now the ammonia solution comes down this line right here, and it goes into the burner. And it gets heated, and it goes up through the coils, and on the way down, about halfway down, the solution, so it's an ammonia solution in there, it splits from ammonia to water. And there's water, which is called the weak solution, that comes down this line right here. So the ammonia solution comes down after after heat is exchanged, the ammonia comes down to the leveling unit over here, and then everything gets reabsorbed, and then the weak solution comes back down here, and it gets mixed and it goes back up for another cycle. So what happens, the ammonia generally doesn't freeze, but this weak solution will freeze. So keeping these warm in the winter is very important. Now, some people will take a heat line like this, and they'll run it on this weak solution line up. so that it keeps that warm and adds a little bit of heat to the unit so that the water can continue flowing. Now, I don't recommend you do this. This is up to everybody to treat their fridge at their discretion, but some people do this and have great success. Well, let's talk about propane tanks. This is really important when you're RV living in the winter. So some of you might know this and some might not, but propane tanks are prone to gelling in the wintertime. So this door isn't very thick and this tank is kind of just about right out in the open. So these guys, they work on the gas actually evaporating, sorry, the liquid actually evaporating into a gas. So the propane is stored at a liquid and it has to turn into a vapor in order to get into the lines and function as it should. And the wintertime tends to take that process and sort of nullify it. So we find that around -20, the propane tanks begin to gel. So what we do, now we're not going to do this today because it's still nice and warm out. We usually don't do this until about mid-November. What we'll do is we'll actually run a heat tape around the tanks, a couple wraps down here, and then we'll actually wrap this in a blanket and then shove that back inside and then have the blanket insulating it. And then we'll just plug that heat tape into the outlet over here, and then that will keep the tanks warm and functioning as they should. Now, one thing to mention too, it's a good idea to always inspect these lines. We've been watching these all summer. These are the original lines that we got with the camper, and they're actually starting to crack. Now, this is just the outside protective jacket. That's not the actual inside propane line, but that's a sign that they're starting to get old. So we're actually going to replace these as well before the winter hits. So about 25-inch line. Okay, so here's something to talk about as well. This has nothing to do with winterization, but just a cool little feature. So in this particular camper, we've got a different setup. So we put the composting toilet in. So the black tank is actually not used for solid waste. Because of this setup, we often get vapors from the black tank coming into the camper. Now the black tank is just for liquid waste, and that's it. So because we have the toilet mounted to the floor, it changes the plumbing and the way that the air flows to the tank. So we found that we'd start to get some vapors inside. So Andrew's looking online and was looking at different options for a Venturi, because we were thinking, well, there's got to be a way to use the wind to get the air out of the camper. So we settled on this here, which is the 360 siphon. And this thing just drops right on to your existing soil stack weather cap, and then just a little bit of sealant around the edge and you're good to go. And the way this works is there's a little bit of an airfoil down here, and as the wind blows over it, it creates a low pressure zone and actually sucks the air out of the black tank. And we find it works great. Just a little bit of a breeze and it just clears the air right out and keeps those vapors out of your camper. So the last step here of winterization is to cover the air conditioning unit. So what we do is we use some R foil and make a layer over top. And then I'm going to go with a moving blanket. We just get these from Princess Auto. They're super cheap and they're great for insulating for stuff like this. They're kind of thick. So I'll go with the R foil over top. I'll put the moving blanket over top, and then I'll go over top with this this oil canvas here. I mean, you could use pretty much anything, any kind of a tarp. It's just to keep the moisture off, because we are going to get some rains before it actually freezes up, and we'll get some freeze thaw on top of the camper. So then I'm going to wrap it all up really nice like this, and I'll just go around with a ratchet strap under this lip over here and tighten it all down real nice so that we can go down the road and the wind doesn't lift it off. I got to take a minute and I got to acknowledge how awesome modern technology is. You know the amount of tips and tricks I've seen on Snapchat, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on ratchet straps, ways to tie down the tail, ways to hook the hooks together, just you name it. There is someone that has made a video on ratchet straps, and I love it, and I'm here for all of it.